Welcome back. Part 2. Mm-hmm. You're still here. That's good.
Yes.
So you didn't...
I don't know how, because Alex is really upset with me after the break. Aren't you, son?
I'm an upset man. Yeah. I'm an emotional man.
The break was quite interesting.
I know you're emotional because you said you've been crying. Sorry.
No, it's true.
No, we were talking about...
not, like, right now I've been crying. I've just, we were talking about, things to talk about and whatnot. Relationships and stuff.
Yeah.
I was just saying it'd be nice to be in one.
Is that where you're at right now? Are you ready to be in?
I'm single.
Yeah, no, I...
Like, well, if you want a girlfriend, like, do you want to be in a relationship?
I just like human contact with someone that isn't a man.
Skin on skin.
Yeah. I just...
With someone who isn't a man?
Yeah, well, we know I tackle a lot of people.
Right.
American
well,
football,
do you?
Not true.
I do.
I'm really sorry.
That would have been a perfect time for the meat thing.
That's going to come out, isn't it?
Well, we might as well do it now. So we found that Joel has a hidden talent.
So. You can't put this on me.
Yeah, I can.
Shake your face.
No, I think it's...
Shake your face! Shake your face.
Hashtag, that could be another thing. Yeah. Hashtag shake your face. See how many people are capable of it.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't do it.
You need to be relaxed.
Yeah.
But I don't have enough mouth for it.
Yeah.
There you go, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, the hair as well.
That puts you in a bad place, doesn't it?
This doesn't help my cause to trying to get a relationship.
Yeah, you literally went from, I'm ready to be in a relationship to shaking your entire face.
That's not helping you get a relationship.
Put the glasses back on too.
Oh, no, he's gone for a second.
You'll go, Alex.
I told you I ain't got enough face.
Well, have a go.
Right, okay, ready?
What are you trying to say? We've got fat faces.
No, I'm just going to... No. Let me
No.
relax everything in my being, in my face. Ready?
Is that how you relax?
Yeah, I do that before bed every night. That's why I'm single.
Come on, let's get out of the way.
Ready? I can't... I can't do it.
Do you have no moisture in your mouth?
You're pathetic.
Sometimes.
You have to have like a little bit of saliva to...
I'm not going to dribble on myself so that I'm capable of doing this.
We didn't dribble. It's possible to do it without...
You sure? You did last week.
All right.
All right, back to your girlfriend situation. Are you ready to be in a relationship?
Yeah, probably.
Are you looking for a partner?
Oh,
actively?
Yeah, I'm on Tinder. Does
That's
that count?
Not looking for a partner.
That's
just an app for fun.
I think Tinder had its day. I think Tinder is a dead thing now.
Oh.
To be honest.
I bought it.
Okay.
Accidentally I bought it. I bought it accidentally.
Right.
It's very easy to accidentally...
You spent money on Tinder?
Don't you have to put your thumb...
I'm not looking at Joel right now.
Don't you have to put your thumb on the...
Yeah, the way your thumb goes a lot of the time. It's very easy to accidentally press the subscribe
hold.
And then the year package and then slide the thumb over the confirm and then put your password in.
Tell me this is a joke for this right now.
It's a joke for this right now?
Please.
You want it to be so much, but it's just not, is it? It's not.
You've paid for a year's subscription.
No, not years.
And how...
No.
How successful has that been for you so far?
It's not very good.
How many people have you met physically because of Tinder?
I've met physically...
please, can you tell that one?
I met a couple of people from Tinder.
This is a ledge. It really is.
I met a couple of people from Tinder, and there was this one girl, I'm not going to mention her name, we'll call her...
Doreen,
it's always Doreen.
Same girl?
No, I'll call her Joanna.
Okay.
So, I meet Joanna, we match on Tinder, and we start talking, have a very nice chat, and I said, oh look, do you want to go for a drink? Because I like the idea of meeting people instead of...
meeting them online?
Yeah, I think there's only so much you can get from those conversations. So I said, look,
why did you buy Tinder?
Shut your mouth. My story. So I said, right, let's go for a date. She goes, yeah, great. And then she goes, but I feel like I should tell you what I do for a living.
Never
first.
Never good.
Well, then I was like,
wait for it.
Well, I was like, oh shit, it's a PT. I don't want to run about. or I thought, police officer. I don't do anything illegal, but it's just like, just in case I want to rob a bank. But so she goes, I'm a companion, and I was like, what?
Do you know where this is going?
Mm-hmm.
And she said,
Sure?
Mm-hmm. I've heard it before, yeah. But for the sake of the audience, it's fabulous.
She goes, I'm a paid companion. Mm-hmm. I went, are you an escort? He said, yeah, I am.
Yeah. Everybody has to make a living, right?
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. So I was...
But imagine having that conversation with your parents when you get engaged.
Oh, I have told my parents that I met an escort.
Why?
I'm an only child. I have to talk to them about something.
Whoa, I'm an only child.
Well, no, but I'm just sitting there at dinner being like, oh, do you have a good day today? And I panic and I went on a date with a prostitute.
And the rest of her family.
So anyway, I have a chat. She says to me, she goes, "Do you still want to meet me? Do you still want to meet me?"
You can't say no at that point.
How rude is that?
You
Be
can't.
like, sorry, busy now.
Yeah,
Well,
you can't.
Well, I just feel like I'm a nicer guy.
Why can't you say no?
Because what if I said to you, Joel, do you want to go on a date with me? I'm a prostitute.
But no, I'm good.
But
You've just matched with me on Tinder.
Yeah, now I know what you do.
now I know enough.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't do that.
Right.
I said
I probably would have said yes as well because I'm too much of a nice person. I would feel bad about. So,
Yeah.
I'm not a nice
it's
person
not-
because I don't want to go and say
No,
prostitute.
no.
you've
but
actually done the right thing.
Yeah, I would lead her on and be like, it's not fair to judge her based on her career.
Yeah. Well, this is the
Can
thing.
you
So
call it
You'd
a
have got in a relationship with her
career.
for a year.
Can you call it a career?
A career.
I'm going to ignore that comment.
Yeah. How'd you get promoted? Just enough blowjobs. No. Anyway, so I said to her, I was like, look, let's go for this date still. She's like, oh, brill. So we meet, and before we get there, I start panicking. I'm like, oh.
Sweating.
Well, I'm like, we were having a nice chat. We were getting on really well, and I suddenly go, what if I fall in love with her? Fuck, I'm going to fall in love with her. I'm going to be in love with a prostitute. We're going to have a relationship. She's going to come home one day and be like, oh, I had a really hard day at work. I don't want to know. That's not conditioner in your hair. Get out of the house. And like my children would be like, Daddy, what does Mummy do for a living? Shut up. And it would be awful. I'd be like, but then I couldn't tell her not what to do. She's her own woman, and I do believe you feel safe. You do what you want to do in your life as long as you feel you're not in trouble or you do what you want with your own body. Anyway, I go there to the date.
Once you went through all of that in your head before you'd even...
He was a panicking mess. Like, he didn't say this because I was at work and we were texting each other and he was an absolute wreck whilst he was waiting.
So you went through that entire process
Wasn't
in your head.
I remember texting Joel. I was sitting there going, Joel, if I don't come back, search for a prostitute on Tinder and find my body.
Before you'd even met the girl, you were going through all of this in your mind.
I was, very nervous. Anyway, so I go there and I was like, look, maybe she's a really nice person. I could never tell her to not do what she wants to do. We're going to have this relationship. Great. What do I tell my parents? I'll be like, my dad would be like, oh, is she a waitress, is she? She get good tips. She gets the whole fucking lot. Like, it's not, I was like, oh, God. So you see my dilemma. So I go on the date with her, and turns out she was a horrible human being in the end.
Oh, okay.
And I said to her, I was like, oh, so what do you do? And she's like, I'm a bad bitch. And I was like,
wow. So at least that gave you an out. How long did you spend?
Well, then I was like, oh, so what do you like doing? And she's like, I like sucking dick. And I was like, I'm more like music or film. Like, it was like a bit more than that. And then
at least she's doing something she loves.
Well, she's honest.
But I was thinking maybe it's a test to see like if he goes with it. And is like.
That's why I don't think you can say no.
But
yeah, she just was not.
She wasn't
wasn't
that
nice,
way,
really.
So have you that just dispersed after?
I'm going out with her now. So.
Oh right, married?
Yeah,
Are we invited?
100%.
on a serious note, was her family there?
No, her friend was there. She brought a friend to the date.
Right, because you text me saying, like, I think the family's going to be there.
No, this is the thing.
What?
At the end, she,
this at work. Lovely. It made my day.
no, genuine, because at the end of it, she was like, "Oh, my mum might come along," and I was like, "What?" So yeah, my mum might come along, and I was like, "Oh, pretend I didn't hear that." And then we were wrapping up the date. I'd had enough by this point. She said, "I'm going to go meet my mum. Do you want to come with?" I went, "No, I'm all right, thank you." The only sensible thing I'd done the whole story. No, thank you, that's enough.
Well done.
You thought about it, didn't you? You thought about a mother-daughter scene, didn't you?
Mate, she's not worth the amount of money that she was putting out as well. So I said, because she wanted to talk about her job, and I was like, all right, so how much is it? What do you earn? She was like, I earn 150 quid an hour. I thought, I'll do that. I mean, a very niche market, to be fair, but I was like, I'll be up for that. 150 quid an hour. Not paying tax either, is she?
Yeah,
Come off it.
well,
it's all cash in hand.
No, it might all be legit.
Legit.
So what did she charge you for her time?
No, I did ask her. I was like, I'm not going to get an invoice for this tomorrow, am I?
Yeah, so you never know. Like,
I was nervous.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a real thing, isn't it? No.
Yeah.
And so it was just, that was my experience. But anyway, that little story of mine, I've told to a few people, and I've set it put it in a little set of mine that I'm doing for a stand-up.
Oh yeah, because you did a stand-up.
But the thing is, I've just started doing stand-up, and I
can't believe you didn't invite me to that.
Well, I was scared that I was going to bomb. And also, you
would've...
said you were going to throw things at me while I was on stage.
Naturally.
Do I want that? Anyway, so I said my parents, I told my comedy set to my parents, which involves my breakup with my ex and the Tinder story, and it's a 10-minute
Your
set.
dad
So
sitting
is this
there.
how you actually came to tell them?
Yes, I said, I'm doing stand-up comedy. My dad went, what's your set? And I went, sit down. You'll need a seat.
And he got a
And then at the end of it, my dad just went, I'm proud of you.
I
proud
think,
of you, son.
I think that's all he could.
My mum said the best thing, though. My mum went, you're just too polite, aren't you, Alex? I went, why? She went, you could have said no to the date. I was like, I know that now, Mum!
I think I'd have struggled to say. Like, it depends how long you were talking to her beforehand. Like, if you're talking for long enough, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm a prostitute."
Yeah. One of them.
Wow, that was graphic for
It's
the podcast listeners who are not viewing that. Just getting full on.
Simulating a job. She was, yeah. And also, as well, this is weird. So I then, I was like, oh, great, yeah. I'll say hello to your mum. And then I left. And the next few days, she calls me at 3 a.m. And she said, and actually, no, I'll go back a bit. It was relevant. So I said, so, your job, what do you do? Have you got a place people go to? She says, no, I work out of Airbnbs. And I was like, okay, that makes sense, I suppose. And she was like, yeah, I've got a guy who works for me. And I went, wait, what? So I've got a guy who works for me, and then before I could say what, like a pimp, she went, not like a pimp, as if this question has come up before.
She read your mind.
Yeah, and the more you say not like a pimp makes me think it's like a pimp.
I feel quite sorry for her. She's probably been through this process, like, 'cause she knows all the questions that are coming next. She's fully ready for the next question. She's literally answering them before you ask them, because she's like, I've been here so many times before. How much does it cost? Like a pimp. Like, she's literally fully loaded, Oh.
Fully loaded, ready to go.
Fuck's sake, choose your words carefully.
yes. So she was like, it's not a pimp. It's not a pimp. And I went, okay, cool. Put the bat down.
But at least you can say, like, in your life, like, I went on a date with a prostitute. Like, that's an experience.
You can't really put it on a CV, though.
No, but you can, like, it's a life
I think that's worse than actually hiring a prostitute.
Hold on.
I think that's worse.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've done neither of the two. I've done neither of the two.
Just to clarify.
Yeah. But
why do you think it's worse? I don't.
It is.
It's because you're not trying, like, just because if they're working,
Yeah.
then you know what you're getting, and you know. But you were trying to date.
I was trying to see
It's a wife or hoe.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if she was a nice human being.
So what happens there? Because I always think this, like, what
So
happens?
if you'd have really liked her, sorry to cut you off.
No.
This is
If
what
you'd have really liked her,
This is what I was worried about. I have to
Well,
deal
yeah,
with
'cause
it.
you put yourself in that position, so it's like...
Yeah, but if I fell in love with her, you can't control who you fall in love with. You'd be like, I can't tell you to stop. My jaw hurts. Just shush. Listen to music or something. Or we're sitting on the sofa together. Why are you so sticky? Like, it would be...
Why are you so sticky?
I couldn't be like, no, don't go and do what you need to do.
Yeah.
I could never be that person. I could never tell someone not to do something if that's what they want to do. You then have to review, like I did, and be like, no, I just can't be with you.
Oh, did you actually tell her that?
No.
No, she was just enough of a
She was
prick
terrified.
that
She started calling me at 3 a.m. every morning, like every night. And she was saying, I've had an argument with my friend, the pimp. And she was like,
come and get me.
Not like a pimp.
and I was like, I don't
You
want to
wasn't
go.
driving at that time, was
No, I wasn't driving that time. I had to walk. I'll walk you home.
Ledge.
So yeah, that was.
Quite the story.
So we've come away from the reason.
So I'm going to be a pimp now.
No,
you're
stop
not.
it. You're not.
Started hiring jackets, big hat.
So the actual question was, are you actively seeking love?
Oh yeah, always. I don't know. If it happens, it happens, doesn't it? If I'd like to be in a relationship, but I'm actually quite happy on my own. I do quite well when I'm on my own. But
I feel that right now.
No, you don't.
Yeah, no, I do.
You love a relationship.
yeah,
I
that's
do-
true.
But you have a set time, don't you? You
No.
literally... Oh, come
So
on.
I do enjoy having the company of somebody.
Only for a year.
No, because like the reason that and a year is ambitious as well, because I've only had one relationship that's lasted longer than 5 months.
Oh.
And that was like the proper relationship that I had. So my last one, the one that you're thinking of, was like January to May. And that's it.
No.
Yeah, it was.
So
Wait,
was
when we was on a holiday and you was on the phone for like
Yeah,
3
but
hours
but-
every day.
But it didn't actually count until, and that's
just dropping all bombs.
yeah, that's
All of them.
just exaggerating all bombs. Yeah. But that didn't actually start until like Christmas time, like officially.
Right. Okay.
So, but for me, like
But you put a year's worth of work in.
Yeah, well, that was a Tinder date.
Yeah, see, it
It
worked.
just took like
You just
like
didn't
you
have
said
to pay.
the graft. But it's like you get that whole, particularly when you've not met somebody yet. And the trouble is, the more work you put in, the more you feel like you then have to reach the end goal. Does that make sense? So because I'd been grafting and like chatting to this person for long enough, I was like, it would like if I just can't just call it off now. Like now I need to actually see it through. Do you know what I mean? So, but there were phases. Like, and I think one of my problems is, and I think I learned from every relationship I've been in. But I think one of my problems is I just find it too easy to just be like, this. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I have that problem too.
But I think I've learned from that now, and I'm being a bit more cautious about like what I'm doing and who I go and meet. Like, does that make sense? Because I wasn't. Because I came out of that, and that was like one of the first times in my life that I was like, that wasn't really valuable time.
You're now learning what you like though. So
yes.
With a
that's
with a
all
person.
part of dating, like
exactly.
your likes and dislikes,
and you learn because I think given the same opportunity to be in the relationships I've been in the past, I'd turn them all down. But I think that's because you go through them and then you learn. Okay, well that's not good for me. So then tweak it to do. So now, literally, like I've been out a couple of times recently and just literally been like, this is me. This is my life. This is the way I do things. This is what I'm into. This is what I enjoy. And we talked a little bit about this last week, didn't we? And just kind of being like, that's the way I'm going to live my life. And it's not about being stubborn about it or being like, you know, like it's my way or the highway kind of thing. It's just like I've tried way too much to bend and break myself before and like alter myself too much to be like,
to accommodate
to accommodate somebody else and be like, oh, okay, yeah, like I kind of like this, but I don't have to do it. So I'll just kind of forget that exists and just sort of be what you need me to be.
Do you think like our generation gives up on relationships too quickly? Because you know, like our parents' day, or like way back when, it was like you get with someone and that's it.
Yeah,
you make it work, or you try your hardest to make it work.
I think the way it is for us these days is like being a 5-year-old kid standing in a candy shop with access to everything. You can see all opportunities, all options, and it's just impossible to pick one. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but it's a terrible.
No, you've just compared all women to sweets.
No. But do you know what I mean? Because like you can go on Tinder and you can swipe through like 300 individuals and be like, yeah, I like that one. I don't like that one. It's just a weird concept. I don't particularly agree with the way that it works, but most single people are on Tinder because if they're not, they feel like they're missing out, sort of thing. So it's sort of like and modern dating is people are less likely to have conversations with each other in the street now and will instead, because like you'll get people who will know who somebody is in public and won't say anything to them and then will go home and jump straight on Facebook and be like, oh, I saw you today,
and they'll be like, oh, I saw you too.
Whereas when our parents were going through that dating aspect, you didn't have that luxury. It was like, if I've seen you and I want to talk to you, then it's now or it's not. You know, do
you then think that the modern society at the moment that aren't as confident in situations of talking to people socially?
No, but I think things like Tinder have taken away the ability to go and talk to women in a club or whatever. But because of that, it's just making it harder and harder each
but I also think for our younger generation that there is a lack of respect in my opinion, from a male point of view. And obviously we don't know what it was like sort of back then, but I get the impression that it was a lot more gentlemanly back in the day in the way that men approached women. Whereas nowadays, I think it's a little bit more...
But do you think women are looking for that though? Like a gentleman or...
No, I think... do you know what I think the majority of the problem is with this kind of thing? It's reality TV. And I have a real passionate hate for the way that men treat women on shows like The Only Way is Essex, Love Island, Made in Chelsea, because I think that makes it...
So you're saying all men are shit because of reality TV?
No, but I think it makes it socially acceptable to treat people that way because it's publicised on TV and it's what's known as good TV to have like and some of the way that they talk to women and stuff. And don't get me wrong, it's not just men, like it's the other way around as well. But I think that whole mentality and the fact that most people, particularly the generation below us, so like teenagers now, obsess over reality TV and watching shows like that, and you learn what you grow up with, and you grow up with this mentality that it's okay to treat people that way, and like cheating on people is massive, like in those programs. Everybody cheats on everybody on TV these days.
Yeah.
So how can you, growing up, how can you, like, because people say like violent video games make people violent, which is a weird argument, but you could say the same thing about programs, reality
I think
TV
it's
programs.
got something to do with your upbringing as well, like your family.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think, and I've always said this, I'm really grateful for the way my parents have raised me and the way that I see my dad treat my mum, because that gives me the same instinct to be the same. So I think that I've grown up, because I've grown up and watched my dad respect my mum the entire way through my life, that it's given me that instinct that is the right way to do it, and that's subconscious as well. My dad's not actively being like, here you go son, like this
just
is
an example, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And you follow on from that, but I don't think it's a good enough excuse to treat people that way because you've seen it. But at the same time, like, I guess if that's what you grow up within, then it's a similar thing to watching reality TV, I suppose. But it's ugly. I think our relationship and the way that we handle relationships, and I don't agree with it at all. I would much rather that old-fashioned sort of gentleman's approach, you know, back the way it used to be and the way it was back in the day.
Why don't you give it a go then?
Because
we'll buy you a top hat.
Because I think there's been I think for the way that women are treated these days, like particularly in pubs and clubs and stuff, they've been approached one too many times by that guy who's a bit of a dick, that the second you say hello to somebody, they're just ready to be like, no,
dismiss you.
Just get like, and I don't think you get the chance. I think the average time that you would have these days to approach somebody in public and make a conversation is a lot shorter than it would have been 20, 30 years ago, because they've not been so badly handled. So I don't know, but then maybe it's just more heavily publicised these days. You don't know.
It's interesting.
Anyway, that's part 2. We have one more 20-minute section to spend with you, so let's make the most of it.
I'm sure you're looking forward to it.
Absolutely. It's going to happen in about 30 seconds, but I'm looking forward to it.
Lovely. No.